Hello and welcome back to another video. And yeah, OEB Pete's, well, he's yeah, still a bit strange. He's still sort of denying he caused any drama in all this situation regarding the Amico and so on. But we'll get into him in a bit. I know that's the sort of the main topic, the meat and potatoes, as it were. But yeah, I didn't talk about Intellivision's. I'll just talk about this briefly. I didn't talk about Intellivision's offices when they were empty. This was Friday, 15th of July, and well, what day are we on now? Now Tuesday. Let's go down on Tuesday, the 26th of July. So it's about a week and a half since that came out. But I when I heard the news, it didn't even sort of occur to me that this was a new thing, because who actually thought any of this was real anyway? I mean, yeah, I remember these. I mean, they mentioned that Pat the NES Punk was the yeah, their podcast was sort of where all this came from. I've not watched their video, so I don't know how it came about. Maybe if that's worth watching, let me know in the comments below. But I remember this was the this was the room that Intellivision were doing that Friday lunchtime thing out of. This was definitely the room. They had everything set up, and it was just there was so much going on. Well, or at least they made it look like there was so much going on, and now it's just fucking empty. It's just absolutely. I mean, it's obvious it's going to be empty because there's no console being made. The whole thing was a scam. But it's just, I've mentioned this before when I talked about stuff regarding Mark Pollard and how he fucked me over, and I could put a link to it in the video description again for anyone who hasn't seen it. But if you look up Mark Pollard and yeah, look up Mark Pollard and DVD Fever. So you'll see it on my website. You'll see everything that he did to me, and I describe how at the point where this sort of went on quite a long time, and there was a point where I sort of assumed he was there long term at the Hope Inn, the pub that he was operating out of, that he was running. And I'd seen him with everything set up, with the whole family life set up in above the pub. So it all look like they were there long term, and they were there for about a year, I think, or just under a year. And then one day I got a call from the guy who was sort of he was just sort of working behind the bar, a guy who I got to know very well at the time, who I think since passed away. But he said, "Yeah, do you want to come and have a look at this, Dom? Because he's gone." So what do you mean he's gone? Mark's gone. He's cleared everything out. I was like, what? And I went round there, and the place was absolutely empty. Everything that had sort of TV and cabinets and carpet and all that, gone. The room was absolutely bare. It was kind of like this, but without even the tables, without any sort of booths or anything. It was just like, imagine if you took away all the booths and all the tables and just had an absolute bare thing, where before you had cabinets and carpet. Obviously, like a lounge, a British lounge is obviously a lot smaller than this cavernous room, but you get the idea. Look at your own lounge. Now imagine all the cabinets have gone, the TV's gone, the carpet's gone, and you're back to just nothing. Sort of lino on the floors. It was like some sort of bizarre film where the protagonist realizes it's that key moment in the film where they realize they've been fucked over. And yeah, I mean, we knew this was going to happen with the Amico anyway. It was just obvious what was going to happen with it. I mean, they just sort of go blah blah blah, just sort of giving a sort of very very basic bits and pieces about it all. I might watch Pat and Ian's video just out of curiosity, if nothing else. But be warned, it features strong language and not a small amount of dismay and anger. I mean, that picture's not as good as the first one because you can't see it. I mean, I don't know whether we saw anything. I know that we did see it outside, where they sort of stood outside pretending to throw, Amico controllers about and stuff and blow them up. But Yeah, that was the one where that Friday lunchtime thing took place. But of course, as is shown on Reddit, DJC said the big this is it's sad that this man is so fucking delusional. I fear for his sanity. And when it's absolutely confirmed that the thing has gone, that it's completely dead, he's going to be absolutely fucking bereft. You know, Amico forever. Will he ever continue that? I mean, I heard a bit of the last week's one, just when they weren't talking about Amico stuff, and in fact, the Amico stuff didn't really seem to be an awful lot, unless I flicked through it and missed it. But they didn't seem to be talking about the Amico stuff very much because there's no Amico stuff to talk about. It was called Amico Forever, but it was just like they were talking about anything but. It's like when what do you call it? I think there's a British or Scottish, British shot in Scotland, a crime drama called Taggart. And it was so called because the detective, played by Mark McManus, was called Taggart. And then I'm not sure whether he quit the role or quit the program, and then or he died. The actor died at some point anyway. And then I can't be asked looking it up now. I think if I had to bet my house on it, I'd say that the actor died while they were still making the series, and then because he effectively left, you wouldn't just leave, because he was no longer doing it. They carried on the program with another sort of lead detective. It was not something I ever watched, apart from the odd clip here and there. But they had a different detective, but they still called it Taggart. You know, just for continuity, I guess. Completely unlike when Inspector Morse became Lewis, because I think they'd finished the Inspector Morse books anyway, and then John Thor died at some point soon after. They killed off John Thor's character. That was it. And then sadly John Thor died at age 60, and then Kevin Whately continued as Inspector Lewis, but it was just called Lewis. I think it actually ran for longer than Inspector Morse as well. But anyways, it's yeah. Where was I going with any of that? But what was I talking about that for? So I just completely fucking lost the plot. Hang on, let me stop this for a minute. I'll just see what I was up to. Yeah, sorry, I just played it back and realised. Yeah, so he's carrying on Amico forever, but he's not talking about the Amico much. And yeah, it's the same as having Taggart, but without Taggart. But you still keep the same name. Sorry, just I've not even had. Well, I've had one. I was going to say I've not had any alcohol. I've had one can of Carling, which is just very sort of normal strength lager. You know, just basically don't turn 50 because your fucking brain turns to absolute Swiss cheese. My brain turns to Swiss cheese. I'm turning into Cyrus the Virus. But yeah, DGC said the big offices. This is going back a few days. DGC said the big offices are closed because the system is done and they don't need them anymore. On his stream tonight, which is even worse with Mike Malist, there instead of Rab. What kind of mental gymnastics do you have to do for him to say those words? Try to guess what other companies closed all their offices prior to launching the product they've supposedly worked on for 4 years. Yeah, this guy's just absolutely out to lunch. His brain's gone. Anyway, just like mine. So, yeah, he must have turned 50 as well. So, yeah, so they're on to the main event. And, yeah, OEB Pete obviously is doing his ever-Canadian nonsense. Intellivision Amico games on the Ever-Canadian. On the Evercade, fucking hell. On the Evercade. Free the games. Free games? Let's have a listen. Come on, get on with it. £4 in the meter was my first ever. When I had him for one lesson, my first ever driving instructor said he turned out to be he was the father of the lady who ended up training me to be my driving instructor basically. But I had the dad for one lesson, and he was a very old man. He just kept saying £4 in the meter, As in just sort of putting some money in. Let's just refresh. Good lord. Try again. Oh, fucking hell. Is this gonna work or what? Should we just try Control F5 instead of just F5? We ready? Let's try that one instead. Oh! This is good, isn't it? Let's try bringing it forward a bit. Right. Oh, like a shite. Is YouTube screwing up, or is it me, or? No, it's coming up on another PC just fine. Well, it's on. Yeah, it's playing another thing just fine. This OEB Pete's put a curse on me on my video. Curse you, OEB Pete. You've cursed me. Just let's try again. Alright. What a strange set of search results. You must be wondering what I'm searching for. Every Canadian Prime Minister? I don't think so. Let's just try. Oh, come on. Let's go from this way. Right. Thank you. Let's start properly. Yeah, every time I hear that music from Mario, I just keep imagining Darius pumping his arm. Yeah, the only time I pump my arm up and down is something people best not see in public. So yeah, but enough about my issues. Let's get on with the Ever Canadian. Free the games. Intellivision Amico games on the Evercade. Why not? This is a very valid questions. I feel we need to grow up and talk about the games. Leave the baggage at the door. 100% Evercade. Spread powerful positive vibes. Yeah, Amico. Spread some Amico positivity. Join me as we celebrate being games and fans of the Evercade. I am all about having fun and friendly dialogue in the comment section. If anyone is using it to troll, harass, bully, start silly arguments, I'll ban you right away. Let's be better than that. Oh yeah, he says that twice in this video. What a shite. So you're wondering why there's a picture of OEB Pete in the face of Stewie from Family Guy being sucked on by a horse, which I was listening to this video, I was watching the video earlier on today, earlier on Monday, and then it was later on Monday that the death of Paul Sorvino from Goodfellas was announced, and Paul Sorvino comes up in that Family Guy clip as it turned out, because after I'd made the thumbnail, because Stewie gets the back of his neck blown on by the horse. They bought this stupid horse, and I can't use the word that they use to describe it. That Peter Griffin uses. It's a word that Darius uses a lot, but I'm not going to use it on my channel. But yeah, the horse blows on the back of Stewie's neck, and Stewie goes, "Oh, is Paul Sorvino standing behind me?" So yeah. Anyway, on with the video.
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel.
Hey everybody.
Well, I'm Pete here.
I'm petering out.
And boy oh boy.
Boy oh boy. Why have you got the Ever Canadian VS open? Why don't you close it? You're going to get dust in there.
We're getting into it, as the title suggests.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about
Get on with it.
Amico games.
Oh, fuck.
We're going to talk about Amico games.
I think Pete's wife has just discovered the Visa card bill for all the Evercade crap he keeps buying.
On Evercade? Why not, right?
Evercade!
Alright, so, it's interesting, right? Like, I've got a long history with the Amico. Won't really go into that, probably bore you all. But
No, Boris, Pete, Boris. You deleted your whole channel, Boris.
Used to cover the Amico, their road to launch on a previous channel, and
Yeah, this whole road to the Amico, was it countdown to the Amico, and because the date kept getting extended, I said it's count up to the Amico now because the date was just moving on, and the days were going up.
You know that whole thing went to went to poop, right?
Yeah, so at least he's keeping it polite for now.
And you know, I thought long and hard about this video. Asked a couple fellow friends about whether I should do
Pete has friends.
this video. And, you know, there's a lot of people when you mention Amico just go completely to the drama, right? And, you know,
Wish you were part of the drama because you're extending this whole countdown to the Amico thing and just sort of fueling the fire.
that makes sense.
Own it.
They created a lot of their own drama through the years.
And you.
And, you know, like I say, if you're going to be creating it, you probably deserve to live in it.
Well, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
So, you know, people have told me, you know, Evercade does not need the drama and baggage. And
Oh, he's turned over a new leaf. He's turned over a new Evercade cartridge box, whatever.
horse shite.
That's it. Yes, that's it. That's the word. You rude little boy, Pete.
Have told me, you know, Evercade does not need the drama and baggage and horse shite.
Horse shite. Shite is the thing people say in Britain. When did any other country start saying shite? When something's shite, if something's really bad, it's just, you don't want to say it's shit. You just go, oh, it's shite. It's just, was it more an Irish thing? I don't know, but yeah, it's better to say shite than shit because it's just, it just feels more interesting. I had as an aside, when it comes to saying the word shit, I had a brilliant, oh God, what was his name? Brilliant German teacher. He looked like Dennis Norden. If you look up Dennis Norden, who used to do It'll Be Alright Other Night, he looks a bit like Dennis Norden. Oh God, what the hell was his name? But not Dennis Norden's name, though. The German teacher's name, because he was like an old sort of avuncular kind of guy, and he said, he just he would just come out with this because it was sort of verboten, as you might say, in a German class. You weren't allowed to swear or anything. Obviously, no one was allowed to swear in school, and certainly not in lessons. But he would say, he just sort of come out with one thing. If you want to say, if you're talking about football, you might want to say Schießstein Tor, not Scheißstein Tor, because Schießstein Tor means he shoots a goal, whereas Scheißstein Tor means he shits a goal. And of course, we were all like about 13, 14, and we just pissed out laughing because teacher said shit, and he just said it all matter of fact as well. He was it might be Mr. Smith actually, I'm not sure, but he was fucking brilliant anyway. Oh, he was fantastic, and yeah, he must have been in his 60s at the time. He could have been in his 50s because everyone in the 80s looked much older than they were. But I expect he sadly passed away now because it's like 30 odd years on. He was an absolute legend anyway. But yeah, he introduced us to swearing in the classroom. Shite.
Of the Amico on their system. I'm like, screw that noise. Drama and baggage and horse shite of the Amico on their system. I'm like,
let's just rewind.
A lot of
Let's just rewind this back. This is hilarious.
Their own drama through the years, and you know, like I say, if you're going to be creating it, you probably deserve to live in it. So, you know, people have told me, you know, Evercade does not need the drama and baggage and horse shite of the Amico on their system. I'm like, screw that noise. I want to talk about the games.
Screw that noise. Who says screw that noise? How do you screw noise? Oh, good Lord. He makes me laugh.
Because it wasn't all doom and gloom and complete crap.
Ooh, swearing again.
There was a lot of good people out there who were creating games in good faith for this system. And let's talk a little bit about that. And
who was creating games? None were finished. Sorry, none was finished.
Why I think they would make a great fit a new home on the Evercade. I don't know if this is technically possible.
Well, no, it's not technically possible because they didn't finish any of the games. Maybe you had skiing. I know they sort of. Then again, it was only a demo anyway. 10 levels, all with the same difficulty level. They never increased in difficulty. You had 10 levels of Astro Smash. Well, they sort of showed a bit of a demo of that on between Tallywhacker and Avocado, but there was no proof that any of these games were ever finished. They're all one level. Well, most of them are one level demos at most.
Probably not. I don't think this is going to ever happen. You know, likelihood is completely, really low, but you never know. You really never know.
We know, Pete. We know.
If there's just a chance
we
could see some of these games come out on the Evercade.
No.
I think why not talk about it a little bit? So, it's, for me, when I look at it,
Windy Pops.
Seeing the Amico now, since I stepped away from even talking about it, doing videos on it for well over a year, you can see the complete picture. And sometimes, people kind of look at the picture and just see all the negatives and all.
Well, you obfuscated the picture by just shilling for this ridiculous system.
All the crap, and I really don't want to get into that because there's, let's be honest, there's a whole lot there. But I wanted to focus on the games because that's the whole reason I liked the concept of the Amico in the beginning, was retro reimagined games. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And first thing I want to say is these games on the Amico were promised to be small little games.
Yeah, they were just in the imagination. They were never actually turned into full games that you could put on any console, never mind the Amico.
100 megabyte games, maybe 500 megabyte games. So they can fit on the Evercade. They can fit on an Evercade cart, because Evercade right now carts old PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, I mean they're just cartridges for tiny amounts of games. How big is an Evercade cartridge? That's how big is an Evian bottle? No, I don't want that. Google. How big is an Evercade cartridge? ROM card 256 megabytes. Oh no, that's the Evercade itself. This is from Reddit. Does anyone know how much storage Windy Pops Evercade cartridges have? 128 megabytes. So, yeah, very tiny amounts of storage anyway. So if the Amico games were 100 megabytes, then you're gonna fit one on there. And if the Amico game was 500 megabytes, you're gonna fit precisely 0 on there. So yeah, that's a non-starter anyway, even if they were finished.
Smaller PlayStation 1 games. So there's no issue there, cart size. So I think
there is.
That is something that they don't need to overcome, is cart size. It wouldn't impact the manufacturing of the carts. Also, the Evercade is doing native stuff now. They're allowing developers to have access to, I guess, a quasi SDK for the system, so they can develop and port their games over directly instead of just being a pure ROM. So that's cool. That's good news there, right?
I've no idea. I'm not technical, so I've no idea what the difference is in that. I mean, surely it's just sort of working on something you can put on a PC anyway. So how difficult is it than writing for the PC? I mean, I don't write games anyway, but for those who do write games, it can't be that difficult.
Because if you want to port a game to any system, you need to be able to have access to the system tools and system hardware at that level, right? At an SDK kit level. So I think that's pretty good news.
What difference does it make? They're just taking old ROMs and sticking them on cartridges. Doesn't matter. They're not putting any effort into it because, in terms of writing anything new, because it's just take 8 to 10 ROMs, shove them on a cartridge, put them out for 15 quid, and you'll not buy them. You'll buy them anyway.
But really, the biggest reason is all of these games, that I'm going to talk about. Like, you've got the missile command here.
Missile, not missile.
Games, that I'm going to talk about. Like, you've got the missile command here. Another problem. These
oh dear.
Don't even stand up, right?
That's the least of their problems.
Missile command. I got biplane. Oh, is that biplanes? Yeah, no, it's Moon Patrol.
Bisexual planes.
Biplanes, right? You know, these are the games some of the ones I want to talk about. I want to talk about Cloudy Mountain, of course. That's probably the one I'm kind of missing the most that I probably will never get a chance to play.
Why aren't you angry at the fact that you've been sold up the river by that stupid idiot, that con man? Just call him out. Call him out for what it is. Just absolute madness.
But if there's a slimmer of hope it comes to the Evercade VS or another system. Why the Evercade VS? Well, this is Evercade fan channel, and I love the Evercade, so...
Well, you've loved the Evercade for about a month. QED.
That's why we're talking about it. Also, these are indie games. These games were built by small little studios.
But Atari wasn't a small studio. Jalico, I imagine, wasn't a small studio. What are you talking about? You know, it's just that unless you, I don't know what you who are the small studios?
Probably less than 10, 20 people. There are real people behind these games. Forget the drama and horseshite
Say it again.
of the Amico and the Intellivision and everything they brought with it and all that crap. It's not about them. It's about the indie studios, the indie games. And I'm a big proponent of indie games. I buy a lot of indie games. That's why I love the Evercade. I've said from day one.
Are there other indie games on the Evercade? It just seems to be Atari Collection, Jalico Collection, Commodore Collection, Intellivision Collection. Those are big companies.
My favorite thing about the Evercade is all the indie games that they're putting on collections. Not the rehashes of the Double Dragons, things like that, but you know, the Xenocrisises, the Tanglewood, all those Indie Heroes 2 collections. That's what I love, right?
Does your wife love it that you spend all the money on this silly system that rather than spending it on, family stuff?
I want these indie companies to have their work put out there. Why? Because I like to enjoy playing them because I'm a gamer, but also maybe somebody else notices the work they've done with these games and said, you know what? We're going to help you make more games.
Well, you could probably get them on Steam, I imagine, but help them get more games or make more games. They can just make them anyway. It's just a case of make them, put them on Steam.
Different games. Support the studio. People support the studio.
The only thing that the likes of Steam and so on are interested in is making money. And they give, I know Epic, I think Steam used to take a loss. I think they've got it more in line with Epic Games perhaps. But I know Epic Games, they had a thing where they would take 12% and the studio would get 88%. So that's how you support the studio making the game, by giving them a decent cut of the revenue.
Also, these indie gamers can continue to make games, which is super important. We need indie gamers to make cool, innovative games.
Of course, no mention of the fact that, for a $10 game, Tommy would give them just 50% and he would keep the rest.
These are retro-inspired games that I believe deserve to be released and measured properly for their own.
But they haven't been finished. Not one has been finished. They're just demos. Live in the now.
You know, if Cloudy Mountain comes out and sucks, I'll be the first one to tell you it sucks.
Why is he talking in a high-pitched voice? Has his wife got his balls in a vice? Probably.
I guarantee I will. But I'd like to be able to play that game. I want to know, is Moon Patrol any good?
No. The only text they had for it was talking about the Lilac Wars from Star Fox on the N64. They never actually had like a one-level demo made. They never had a full game made.
I want to know, will these games stand up as their own titles?
Calm down, you sound like you've come in your pants.
They look fun from the videos, but those videos you don't know, right? Any trailer video can be misleading. You
don't say. Well, that's Intellivision for you. Fucking misleading.
That's just the way it is, The Intellivision Amigos and the first one to put out trailers that, of a game that might not represent the final product. But I want these games to be measured. I want them to go out and see if there's a market for these retro-inspired games.
No. But they're not maybe a market from about 20 people, including yourself. But the games aren't finished, so you're going to have difficulty buying them, let's say.
Atari's doing it with the Recharge series. right? But these are licensed products from Intellivision's back catalog.
Yeah, well, Atari they'll have actually worked on the game and produced the game, which is a lot more than Intellivision have done.
I want to see those games out.
You'll be wanting.
I want game preservation. This is not game preservation. This is just a box.
What?
Preservation. This is just a box.
What? Box?
With a cool little coin. I guess you can call it coin.
It's a bit of plastic, surely.
A coin and a little tap card that unlocks a license. I think.
No. We've talked about this. There's no. It's a card. It's a card, but there's no license on there. There's no. He still is of the belief that it's obvious that Intellivision were not producing any sort of a console ever, and yet he still seems to think that they would have included a little thing where if you tap that card, as if the card contains the game or contains something in to allow it to actually download from the internet. But there's nothing on that card. There's nothing on that card that would then connect Bluetoothly or wireless or whatever with the console. Even if it was in the console, there's nothing, which it isn't because they never made any. There's nothing on that card that will initiate a download on a console, even if the consoles come out and even if they have the thing on them to tap and download. There's nothing on that card. The fact you still think there is, I know you've had issues and whatever with some sort of injury, brain injury, but even you can see that. Well, you should certainly be able to see that there's nothing on that card. How stupid can these people be?
Coin and a little tap card that unlocks a license. I think this is not preservation. There's nothing on this, but in the Evercade, the ROMs are on the carts.
Well, there's no ROMs anyway for the Intellivision Amico games, so there you go.
They're preserved. And if we can get, Moon Patrol put on a cart on the Evercade, it lives there. It's there. You can always have access to it.
Well, you could just go and download Evercade, download Moon Patrol or whatever, or at least something similar on the Switch. Or just get a ROM for Moon Patrol, the arcade game, and play it in MAME. You could do that right now. But no, he's still got to just wait for his game to come out on some format that will never ever happen.
And you may debate that, ROMs versus, originally developed games or whatever, but the games are on a physical media. They're not lost in a digital store that goes offline. This is not preserving. What I'm holding in my hands is not preserving games. It's just not.
Oh, so first world problems.
So I want these games to be preserved and be in the history of gaming.
Oh, they're going to be the Amico will be in the history of gaming. Don't worry about that.
I want them there. And finally, it's for people like me, people who originally got interested back in the day in these games. It was a failed endeavor. I mean, the final straw's not been pulled yet. The nail.
Well, I think it fucking has. Have you not seen their empty offices?
Has not been hammered in that coffin, but it's been a failed endeavor. And I think a lot of gamers who want to play a new version of Moon Patrol, Mystical Man, Biplanes, a different type of version of it, would finally get closure.
It's just so sad. He seems to be under the impression that all of these games are finished and they're just sitting on a hard drive somewhere, just ready to be unleashed and put out on other platforms. He believes the Tallarico philosophy that so they can just put them on other consoles, other computers. No, because they're not made the games. What part of that do you not get?
And would finally be able to move on and play these games. Some of them, at least. The
No.
ones that the majority of the retro community got interested in these games in the first place was because of the retro-inspired titles. That's what I did.
You a con, Pete. Just admit it.
I wanted to play a new Moon Patrol. I wanted to play Cloudy Mountain again.
We all want a lot of things. I want Jennifer Aniston's mobile phone number, but it's never going to happen.
I wanted to play a different version of Missile Command and so forth, Breakout, a bunch of other games.
Why would you want... Well, God, we haven't seen Breakout for fucking years, at least 2 years. But why would you want that version of Missile Command? It was awful. Bloody awful. I think it had like all on your reticule, the thing you sort of drag around the screen, all your missiles and bombs were attached to that. And they sort of, the countdown, or the sort of numbers available in individual missile form were on that reticule, which just made the bloody thing so huge. It was ridiculous. Just play the proper arcade version on MAME. A million times better.
Time will tell.
Time has told. It's game over.
But if they could ever find a way to get these games onto this system?
Not a chance, because they have to make them first. They just close the They just close the console.
But if they could ever find a way to get these games onto this system, I think we'd all be better for it.
There are no words. Well, there's plenty of words, and I've used a lot of them tonight already.
Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye, everyone.
I could comment. I don't know whether he's. I don't know whether he's blocked me again or he did on his OEB Pete channel. I don't think he didn't on Pack Opening Pro and not on this one, Ever Canadian. So maybe I will comment on it. I don't know. Well, let's have a look. What have we got on here? Because it always brings up things you've been watching. So, well, I've not been watching any other Canadian apart from this one. What on earth is that one? I've not been compiling Word for Windows. Don't know where that's come from. I looked at the trailer for that. The Sunrise turned pretty, but it looked boring as hell. Freiheit. For some reason, anyone around in the late 80s, I imagine they were big in Germany because they were, but in the UK we got Keeping the Dream Alive, and then this was in '88, and then there's also an extended version which runs for about 6.5 minutes. Just basically, the song finishes, and then you just get like 2 minutes of instrumental music. But that's the extended version there. That's brilliant. And the album at the time was called Fantasy. And it's absolutely brilliant. I can still listen to that over and over today. I've not heard any of their other albums, but yeah, they're called Münchner, is that Munich? Freiheit in Germany, and they're just called Freiheit over here. Yeah, that's just immense stuff. I've not watched any of Kate Russell's Fairy Tube for some time, but that was quite funny, so yeah, check that out. I've not seen The Grey Man yet. I know that's on Netflix. Days Gaming, I watched that video. Got a bit of Sloth in there. That's he's an interesting chap. Obviously, sort of riding a little bit on Darius's coattails, although he has acknowledged that, and swearing a bit like Darius, well, swearing a lot like Darius. I'm not going to use such language on my channel, but yeah, and then I don't know why Sonic Frontiers is there. I've not played that one, but anyway, there we go. So, as Pete says, let me know all your thoughts. Well, he didn't quite say it this way, but let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, please like this video, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis.